Hello everyone, and welcome back to Remains to be Seen, the D&D show where one group's past could determine the other group's future. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Rover Elliott, and today I am here with...
Annie Ruby, she, her.
Elizabeth Simpson, she, her.
Joe, any pronouns?
Mirah Fae, she, her.
And who are you guys playing?
I'm playing Josie, the only one who hasn't had a named NPC threatened yet.
I am playing Corwin, who's, had lots of threats against her so far.
Viktor, currently trying to not be emotionally compromised.
And Una, who might have already stabbed someone.
Might?
So, might?
Might?
Might? Might?
Okay, alright
Might.
guys, it was, listen, in my defense, it was literally that. It was self-defense.
It was
Our
just
boss wasn't my boss yet.
just a little light stabbing, it's how we say hello.
I feel like that might hold
it's-
up in a court of law, so that's fine.
It's
That's
before
fine.
you fed me. It was before you fed me, okay?
So, speaking of stabbing, is something that happened in the previous episodes. What else happened in the previous episodes, Annie?
It's me this time, of course. As a quick outreach, and of course I am aware that there are other people with the power to cut this out, so if you're hearing this, viewer, it is at their discretion. This is our first recording on a new session, so I get the hard challenge of recounting where we were several weeks ago. We, on the last session, we met all of our heroes in the Bounty Hunters station, which is the Wanted Dead. Yeah, and arranged as a group to go. We were being sent to Oxford. We were being sent to Oxford. See, I'm getting there. Getting there. To find or to search for the missing crownsmith Johnny DeRollo. We have just made it on to the train from London to get there. And I never know how much detail to give in these, but we've just made it there, and the last thing that happened right before we got on the train was Viktor spotted a poster of a missing person that they clearly recognized, folded it up, stuffed it in their pocket, and tried to hide it from us.
And that's exactly where we're picking up. You guys enter the train. You guys sit down in a 4-seat. Actually, I can't say that. Do you guys sit down, or are you guys going to be standing up?
Is it like... What is it called on the train where you have like these separate...
Oh, the like private...
The compartment.
Yeah,
cars.
compartments.
Yeah, the compartments.
Is it like...
Do we have...
You guys can have private compartments, yes. Can someone, random person, roll me a d10?
In the best interest of the party, I am not.
I think Annie just rolled, because that looked like a...
Mm-hmm.
And I do not mean like private compartments for each single person, more like a team compartment.
Yeah.
Got it,
Around
got
the
it.
table. Yeah.
What was it?
3.
3. Okay, you guys are in the third carriage. The first one is at the very front, and the number 10 is at the very back. So yeah, you guys can sit in a private compartment with the 4 of you. There is one window. You can put your luggage above you on one of the... God, I forgot what the name of it is.
Shelves?
Shelves? Racks?
The luggage thing.
The luggage thing, you know?
Place? thing?
The luggage thing, sure.
The luggage
It's
thing.
D&D. It's just like an elemental holding your stuff gingerly for the duration.
Gingerly just.
It's an air elemental.
So, yeah.
Yes, Corwin will toss her stuff up into the luggage rack and or luggage elemental. That'll be like a kind of beat up rucksack and also a shield that I forgot that she has that will be attached to the back of her pack.
Okay. Now, you guys have about 2 hours to be in this train. I can either completely skip. I see an immediate no. So don't. You can immediately yell no at me. You don't have to be like, no.
Sorry, I didn't mean
We
to
being
interrupt.
polite. We don't
Absolutely
interrupt
no.
you.
No.
No, absolutely. Interrupt me.
Okay. No, I would think it would be a good idea to have some character moments on this train, right? Since we were kind of in a rush the last time, or the first time we met. All right. Just to set this, Viktor looks quite pale. Like he looks like a person who's out in the sun a lot. Like he's white, but he's tanned. He lost so much color within the past 5 minutes by boarding the train. And I feel like he was deliberately trying to, cover that up a little. But as we are finding our little compartment, he's going to hold Josie back by the arm before she can enter. And not looking at her, goes like, Josie, do you have a moment in private?
Yeah, you two go on. Come on. We'll be right there.
Yeah.
What's up?
Kind of pulling you along a little, like out of earshot, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Looking very earnest up at you. I think you are taller than I am. So,
Yes.
looking up at you, arms folded across his chest, be like, so, real talk, Josie, did you notice anything out of the ordinary with Safra? Or is it just me?
With Safra?
Yeah.
No. No. But I was paying more attention to the newbies.
That's what I'm getting at. I mean, we're talking about Safra. She just sent out on a mission that is very important to her with one person she barely knows, and, I mean, hell, Una doesn't even remember more than her name.
Yeah, I'll give you... I was a little taken aback by Una coming along, but... I knew about Corwin coming. I knew about us having princess duty today, if I'm being honest with you. So I think that it passed without me thinking about it much. It's a little odd, I grant you, but we're stretched thin right now, and
Right.
we have to go after Johnny.
And that's a problem I see. The way I see it, Josie, to be very honest with you, Safra feels right now like someone who's desperate to score a win against Tobias. And I've been thinking that we should be very careful to put our heads in this news. If you catch my drift.
I do. Look, I agree that we need to stay aware here because, well, you know me. I'm here to do a job. I'm here to protect my people. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Good.
But while I appreciate the heads up, and I agree with you, Safra does seem a little bit desperate at the moment. I think for now, we stick to what we're doing. We keep an eye on the newbies. That's going to be the most difficult part of our job right now, I think. I don't know that I expect this to go south in any way unless it's one of them. So that's where my focus is for now.
He looks at you for a moment, not saying anything. Just like someone who's thinking very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then goes, well, okay, I'm counting on your natural protectiveness, I guess. Because that was my plan as well. I'm not going to, and pointing back at the compartment, I'm not going to put them on the line either. Whatever the fuck is up with Una, I guess we find out. We're good at this. But the rest, I'm not so sure, Josie. Because it feels like something big. It feels like something that could any moment turn out to be bigger than us. And I think we should keep ourselves an exit open. What I'm trying to say is, we look at every detail we can find, and then we decide what Sufferer actually gets to hear.
Viktor, you know me, I've always got an exit door open.
Good. Just making sure.
We
didn't have the pleasure of working together much, so...
No, it's nice that we finally get sent together. That's part of the reason I'm a little more comfortable right now.
Good.
I like having you at my back. But look, if I decide to take the door, I'll hold it open for you behind me.
Amazing. Glad we are on the same page then. And he gives you
Agreed.
He gives you a little pat on your elbow. And a little wink because it's Viktor, and heads back to the compartment.
And Josie will go along.
I think while y'all were talking, Corwin and Una might have been just kind of chatting a bit.
Yeah.
Corwin would have at least been trying to start a conversation. How are you feeling? What a day, right? Gotta be crazy for you.
I don't think you just bump into existence somewhere that you're not familiar with, meet a bunch of people, stab one of them, and then being given food and a mission. It's quite a bit to wrap your head around.
Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, it'd be cool if we could harness the bumping into existence wherever you want kind of deal. But if it's random, you being trapped in a figurine, then a bit more disorienting, I think, than anything.
No, I don't think I want to experience that again.
Does any of this look familiar? She kind of points to the London outside of the window. Presumably the train is kind of starting. Any of this look familiar? Have you been to London before? Do you know?
Don't really. It's a bit hazy. There's a lot going on. I'm hoping I'm gonna start recognize more things once we get to Oxford, which is gonna take us a couple of hours, right?
A couple of hours shouldn't be too long. Travel's pretty easy these days.
This moment, Josie and Viktor can walk in again.
I need to know whether you left any of the fried snacks for Josie and Viktor, or were you just snacking away while you were talking? Because he would definitely have left them with you.
Una wouldn't have eaten anything.
Una, for fuck's sake.
Corwin would have had one or two, if it's chips, she would have had 1 or 2 chips, but the bulk of it will still be left there. She's a bit nervous.
I'm not saying that Una wouldn't eat anything on purpose. She probably would have been too occupied.
Too occupied,
Yeah.
I understand. Viktor, like a mother duck, is looking at the snack bowl, looking at you two, and be like, it is not poisoned. Eat. You need your energy for what we are about to do. And then I think sits next to Corwin.
What is this exactly? I'm not sure I'm super familiar.
Do you want me to describe what the fuck the snacks are? Because I don't think I ever said it.
Please do.
I do. Go for it.
Okay, hear me out. The Netherlands may be gone in this world, but I think the fried snacks should survive because they are incredible. This is Joe talking. Oh my god, they have snack walls. I don't fucking know. I don't know why Ro was it can't exist anymore. But yeah, fried snacks, yeah.
As the one duchy in this call and on the show, in this route, you're talking, for the duchies that are listening, you're talking kroketten, bitterballen.
What are they?
Frikandellen, maybe nasi, hapjes, I guess, but I'm not quite sure. I'm not too sure. But those are the kind of things that you
would
have.
find a lot of mashed potatoes mixed with mushrooms and meat, and then battered and fried.
Wait, did you just say croquettes?
Yep.
I know that.
Croquettes.
Yes.
There's also a fried snack with nasi goreng, which is Asian noodle with some veggies, and it's also fried. Fried Dutch snacks are amazing. So that Viktor would have gotten something like that. They're very hearty, and you eat essentially one, and you're full.
Yeah, so Corwin will kind of like half-heartedly like take a bite of something. Not super hungry, but more so like wanting to appease Vic.
He's giving you a nod. I think he's still struggling to kind of keep the image up. Like, I cannot stress enough how much of a big difference there is between his like almost very much annoying boyish kind of behavior in the Bounty Hunters and the Wanted Dead, and now he's like very quiet, still very pale, hardly cracking a smile, and just kind of focusing on watching out of the window, I guess.
Vic, maybe you should eat something. Are you alright? You've gone a bit funny.
Oh, well, it's not been my best day so far. I've had breakfast. Yeah, I'm good.
Are you sure? Did something happen? I mean, you seemed okay. Like we were. I mean, we were hoverboarding. We were. Everything seemed all right.
Yeah, I'm glad you survived that. By the way, we kind of need to train you, I guess.
Hey, they did all right. Trial by fire.
I'll work on it.
Not everyone can be such a talent like Una over here.
I gotta, balance the numbers. Una's good at it. I gotta keep us balanced.
To answer your question, I just don't like these things as much. Like, kind of gesturing around him. I like to call them metal tubes of death. I'm not a big train fan. Really?
That's reassuring.
I mean, statistically, I think it might be more likely that you get eaten by a zombie or something. But they do get off the rails, so it's a short travel, I guess.
That's a very interesting statistic to bring up.
Does it help you to think, at least if the train goes off the rails, it'd be an interesting way to die? Because that's kind of how I think about it, is that, you gotta rank the ways that you're gonna go, and, like, dying in a fiery train crash, at least interesting. Gotta be up there in the list.
Corwin, we just met, but you will learn, he puts a hand on his shoulder, you will learn rather quickly that I prefer an interesting life than over an interesting death. That turns back to the window, looking out of it like these early 2000 emo memes. There might not even be rain outside, but that's the vibe we're going
Just
for.
laying in the puddle.
A bit of condensation drips down the window to simulate a tear.
Right. Okay. Anything else I need to look out for, statistically speaking?
Viktor shrugs. And kind of mumbles more to himself. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things you kind of have to watch out for, especially in this line of work, I guess.
That brings...
Josie is deliberately letting Viktor flounder, just kind of chuckling to herself, not engaging.
That does bring a question.
Una?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I did hear my name earlier, didn't I? I did hear you. I looked at you. I was like, Yes.
Can you give me, just for flavor, a Arcana check and a different... give me the Arcana check first.
Arcana check first.
Uh-oh.
That would be
Dun, dun, dun.
a 13.
13. Can you give me a history check with disadvantage?
So, that was a nat 1.
Wonderful.
Yowza.
So,
Oof.
you are not aware of any necromancy being used at all. So when Viktor mentions zombies, probably just a term for a type of thing, people, who knows? You are unaware, you know zombies from books. You are unaware of zombies being an actual thing.
Yep, that tracks. That's
just for knowledge.
Because when that word came up, I was like, ooh, okay.
Also, it just occurred to me, does Una know that the Netherlands are flooded?
Well, we'd have to ask.
Oh.
But we don't know to ask yet.
I'm not saying anything.
By the way, Una, do you know the Netherlands have been...
No, that was a very above the table question. And I feel the need to put into audio format the face that Ro made. And I cannot describe it. It's excellent. Imagine
it is
the
a
face.
Shit-eating grin.
Yes. Okay, I apologize.
Right. Well, I was hoping that you're gonna give me like a statistic about, I don't know, a very little... I don't know, what are the... Like, that's me fumbling now. I'm thinking about fairy tales. But if you're saying that, then...
What do you mean fairy tales? I'm sorry, I'm not following right now.
Oh, you know, like kids' stories, things that you've been told when you were younger.
Viktor cocks an eyebrow, looks at you without breaking eye contact, slides a hand under his cloak, and pulls out a book that is called... Oh no, I now have to come up with a name.
Yes, you do.
I'm such an idiot. Why do I do that to myself?
What is the book that you're wanting to think of?
Homework for Joe. Come up with 50 titles for the session.
What's it about?
It is called... It is a fairy tale book for very young kids. It is called Legend for Babies. And he hands it to Una.
Oh.
Like, think Grimm's fairy tales, but without all the murder. Like, everything is always a happy ending. We don't know where he got that thing.
Significantly less grim.
I mean, if you just don't do the thing that horrible people do, where you like fold the edge of the paper to know where you're.
No.
Thank you. There is like a bookmark inside, so yeah, just give it back at some
You
point.
sure I can
Yeah.
just have a browse?
Yes.
Oh.
Of course. I'm happy to share with the team.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And Una would, like, with the greatest care, she would take the book out of Victor's hands and, like, brush her hand across the cover, kind of like just... I don't know how worn out it is, but she would have been, like, noticing all of those little... if there are, like, any imperfections in the cover, if it's like because I'm guessing it's like leather-ish, embossed leather or something like that. Probably tattered a little bit.
It is very clearly a library book, like it's been read a few times, gone through different hands, and on the very first page there's very clearly a sticker that's a little older, property of the library of whatever the campus is in Manchester. Maybe Vic never returned it.
Right.
There's a checkout date of like X number of years before.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, if there's a checkout date on it,
Just...
then that might be interesting to Una too, though.
There is.
To see specifically what year we're in.
So...
It says 19-something.
It says 19
Yeah, no,
something.
Una would read everything. Like, she would read it, but she would try, like, to pay attention to all the details. So, if you guys are intently watching her, looking at this book, then you would see her going like, okay, and like...
I'm sorry. I just had a brain moment. Very quickly. Joe, I'm going to rule the checkout, like, it's the checkout kind of thing where you write down your name and the date, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last person to check out this book is Alexander Ainsworth, and the date is about almost 2 years ago. Zoe, I'm not sorry.
Nice. Right, this is very kind. I would have a read, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
Is that one of your favorites, or...?
I don't think you're ready for my favorites yet.
I'm an avid reader.
Alright, I mean...
But maybe we'll get there.
Maybe you should start slow. I don't know if you're ready for the other stuff.
Noted. And yeah, Una would just stop reading the book, just
Gotcha.
if she can.
Can Una read?
It is common. Can Una read?
Can I have a perception check from everyone and Una with disadvantage because she's focused on the book?
Me, I'm being bullied.
22.
I see, I think at 22, I think I see a natural 20 there.
It wasn't a natural 20, but it was an 18, and I'm just so thrilled that it's not single digits that I'm celebrating. This is the
Wonderful.
first time Corwin has ever perceived anything in her life.
An unnatural 21.
Natural 20.
Oh, we do got a natural 20 there. All right. So, what did you have, Una?
21.
Say it again.
21.
21. Oh, with disadvantage?
Yup.
Wow.
Damn, girl.
Rogues with the perception.
Incredible.
Okay. You can see, like, there's this slightly tainted glass door that is separating you guys. So you can see the faint outlines through it. You can't see the actual person if they would walk past for something. Speaking of walking past, tinted. Sorry. Yes. Speaking of walking past. You guys can see I can just say like a cart coming in view, and you see a humanoid wanting to knock on the door before all of you hear a deeper, lower voice go from one of the compartments a bit further to the back, and Corwin is the only one that can't make out what it is with the DC. Somehow,
Fair.
Una, still focused on this book, can hear it over Corwin's focus. And it is something along the lines of, I refuse to take part in this.
Oh, hot.
Come here. And then the person behind the cart stops, not knocking on your door, continues walking.
Excuse me? Is it like...
On the natural 20,
Yes, please.
you can hear, like, you're not even sure if it's in the compartment itself.
Fuck.
There are these from maybe towards the back, like maybe on the roof, these duck, duck, duck,
Like, footsteps? Or...
you can't even determine if they are footsteps. Footsteps would leave an actual sound of it. These are like taps, almost.
But the train is, like...
The train is moving.
Are we in a tunnel?
He's going to make a mental note for now. He's not going to say anything. Because,
Oof.
he will listen to... If they get louder or stop right above our compartment, he will absolutely say something. So, Ro, if that happens, you need to tell me.
Understood.
In the meantime, Josie is now, for lack of anything more interesting to focus on, trying to eavesdrop on the whatever we heard a minute ago, if she can, and also gives kind of a derisive snort as the cart goes by without knocking on us, sort of like a typical.
Josie wanted more snacks.
Yeah, of course.
Corwin doesn't notice any of this because she's focused on the book that Una has, because she and Aaliyah used to read it as kids. Oh, Legends for Little Ears.
Now
Legends
that
of
is
Little
sad.
Ears.
I'm taking a note for that.
Rover, stop.
I will say you will have noticed that this happened. However, you will not have noticed what the actual voice said.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sure. Okay, that makes sense.
I know that Josie wants to kind of see if she can listen in.
Yeah.
Give me another perception check.
Come on, Josie. Come on, girl.
You can do it.
Well, earlier the dice was alternating, so we will see. Okay, not too bad. That is 19.
Good job.
Nice.
Good job.
19. The voice seems further away now. Like, it seems more muffled.
Does it seem like it moved further away, or is it just...
Like it moved away, yes. Like it moved away from where it was initially. And the muffles... It's just too difficult to hear exactly the pinpoint, and I know that is with a high roll. However, it is something, you can tell something along the lines of, focus on me, do not move. And kind of that's the little tiny parts of what you hear. And with the 19 at some point, after their conversation kind of stops, you can see a figure, a humanoid figure, walk past from where, if we say the person with the cart went backwards, there is now someone walking to the front.
Okay. And in some way, like, does this seem connected to the voice? Does it seem like this could have been the person who was talking? Or you said that the person who was talking was moving further away, so this is just a different person passing?
They should be moving away, yes.
Okay.
So it could be another passenger, it could just be anyone really. But yeah, the person, the voice is coming from further back, and now there's a person walking past your compartment.
Alright, I think Josie is going to just, because she would be sitting closest to the door, just so she could keep an eye on it. That's sort of the way she would always arrange herself. She's gonna sort of crack the door open softly, just a little, right? I'm assuming, on a train it'd be like a sliding door, so she'll crack it open about a foot, stick her head out, just to look back and forth, not really just being, again, boredom more than anything.
Yeah. Do you want to do so stealthily?
Oh no.
Cautiously.
Cautiously.
Well, that was why I used the term softly. She's not necessarily trying to be like, I don't want anyone to know I'm opening the door, but she's also like not just grabbing it and pulling it, she's just being like, because she is eavesdropping.
Give me a stealth check.
While this is happening, can I very quickly ask a question, Ro?
Yes, absolutely.
The voice was also audible to Viktor?
The voice was also audible to Viktor. It was audible to Una. Una and Viktor are now not the ones that heard
The
final
second part.
sentences.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, did the tapping move at all?
The tapping is just for Viktor.
But did it move? Did it move since the first time he noticed it?
Not yet.
He's going to cast message. Do your roll first, though.
Okay.
Annie, no.
3.
No, Annie, no.
3!
Oh, Annie.
3.
That's why I went, no, you didn't.
Oh no.
Yep.
So,
Like, Una's eyes would be fixed on Josie doing that. Like, still holding the book, but just, like, looking.
it makes sense, because once you try to open a door, it's just...
Yeah. There's like a chunk on the handle and then the squeak.
Yes, there's a ka-chunk on the handle, and then the door itself is just already not...
Yeah.
Like, it's not a smooth sound. It's
Totally.
just, like, actively pulling. And
Could use a little maintenance, yeah.
yeah. And as you look out of the compartment, you can see a humanoid figure, what seems to be in a fully black clothing. It looks like more of a business kind of look. And they are carrying a suit, not a suitcase.
Briefcase.
Briefcase, thank you. They are carrying a briefcase with them. And they are about, I would say, 5-ish feet. They aren't that tall. And they have long, very long, like, almost silver blonde hair down to, like, their waist. Before you get a tap on your shoulder. And as you look around, it is this kind of elvish woman with the cart being like, sorry, I missed you guys. Do you guys want anything to eat or drink?
Before I answer, the humanoid with the black business clothes is the one that just walked past me headed toward the front of the train?
Yeah, they're heading towards the front of the train.
Okay.
They walked out of compartment or carriage 3.
If you want to, Viktor would have casted message to or on Josie specifically, so we can have a mind conversation, and you would hear Viktor's voice in your head being like, there's a tapping on the roof. What's up on your front?
Okay. Josie, who would probably have tried to banter with the cart lady as a bit, is immediately all business and is just like, no, we're all right, thank you, and head back in, closes the door, turns back toward Viktor. It doesn't say anything, but just looks, like waiting for more information, basically. Oh, and also, and I think she will also say back, basically describe like, one other person in the like, basically like almost like a tactical survey. She'll be like, there's the lady with the cart, one other person in the hall, about 5 feet tall, black business clothes, briefcase, super long blonde hair. What's the tapping?
For funsies, to kind of get Corwin and Una involved here, I normally don't want to do like in between player roles. However, give me an insight check on them to kind of see if you can notice that they are messaging each other.
I was literally about to ask if it's like they are like staring at each other.
Should we oppose with a performance or a bluff or something?
It's a 17.
If you want to hide it, give me.
I want to hide it.
Yeah, performance or deception.
Deception?
Let's say
Deception.
Okay, so depends on what you guys want. In my head, deception sounds more like talking, and performance sounds more like hiding.
That's fair.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's performance. Yeah, I have the same modifier in either, so it's fine.
Oh my boy, he's not rolling well.
Yeah, 10. Josie's more focused on conveying the information than on being subtle. So.
Also 10. I feel like we're hiding it very badly.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Una and Corwin?
It was just a 9 for Corwin, which is par for the course.
17.
Yeah, makes sense.
I've built him in a very specific way.
Nice. They are absolutely like communicating somehow, and you know that there was a way that Safra was trying to get into your head, or was trying to. She got in your head at some point. So they seem to be communicating with each other without getting you two involved. Corwin, there's just one intense look from Josie to Viktor, and you have no idea why.
They may be flirting. Who knows?
Who knows?
Corwin's like, okay, cool.
Oh, Corwin takes a mental note.
Corwin will remember this. Please. Probably. Una won't.
Corwin ships y'all.
From now on, Corwin's just building that idea in their head. Like, I think what Una would have done, like she would have, because like I said earlier, she would have been looking at Josie, cracking the door open, like proper eyes fixed. Also, whenever Una is paying attention to something, she really does do it with eyes mostly, rather than like turning her whole face and stuff like that.
Right.
So she would have been looking at Josie, so obviously that happens. If either of you is looking at outside at the ceiling or the roof when obviously you guys are communicating this, she would have like look at you, look out of the window, then look at the thingy, focusing on it, like just trying to figure this out, and then as if bored, she would look out of the window at that point, like with the book closed and resting on her lap.
Right.
Just like
Josie would not have looked up because I'm counting on Viktor to relay the information, so I'm looking at. I looked in the hallway, talked to the elf, looked at Viktor.
I feel like with the 10, for the specific, as it all plays out, he would have, like, someone who's really bad at poker just looked up at the ceiling, looked at Josie very intently. He's not good at hiding something right now.
Sure.
Yeah, like Una would have probably just like followed that and then purposely look out of the window just to figure out where they are and kind of like.
So, when you're looking outside of the window, there you can't really determine. Actually, give me a perception check.
Actually, let's see.
Actually, can you determine
Actually,
this?
let's see.
That's an 18.
Oh, damn, yes, girl.
Let's go. Get it.
Proud.
So, from the window, you can look outside, and you guys are now out of the city. It is plain lands. You can't really determine from the outside world if the things have changed from what you know it. If you're looking for up, there doesn't seem to be anything near the roof, nor anything outside. It is either hanging loose or something.
I have a question.
Yes.
Which way is the sunlight going right now? Can I see a shadow of the train on the ground out of the window?
You can.
you're
It's
smart.
You are currently at about. It's about 6 p.m. right now, right?
Okay.
You guys are let's say an hour into this train trip, and you can indeed you can see the shadow. The sun is not on your side; the sun's on the other side, so you can see the slight shadow on the ground from the train moving.
Which typically would be like just a long line.
And with that, you can see a small where the roof of a train, right, should be at least fully there's a dent where the compartment or where the compartments where the carriages change. Yes, there seems to be a slight dent. In the one back. In the carriage 4 or 5. Towards there. That is not supposed to be there.
Would I know that? Would I know that's not supposed to be
You
there?
will know that. Yeah, I will allow you to know that. Yes.
Okay.
Like something dented the roof?
So there's a dent in the roof.
Very slightly.
Oh my god.
Oh, see, I was thinking you meant like a bump. You're actually an indentation in the roof.
No, a dent.
So, you know when I said
okay.
that Una looks out of the window as if bored, kind of like, I know I gestured it to you guys can see, but like literally face on the hand. You know, as a kid when you were like traveling by any kind of form of transportation, you put in your face as close to the glass as you can,
Yes.
so then you can actually really... So she would have been like, she doing that, but trying to be very nonchalant about it. So she would have been like looking at all of this. Okay, so Una would have been looking at that indent, trying to figure out, like, when you're looking at something, it doesn't register straight away, but then you're like, why is that there? Is there any kind of unexpected movement or any clear movement from that area, or is it just the dent?
There is no movement. Better than that, Victor, you can't hear the tapping currently.
Okay. Oh god. Okay, give me a sec. I need to think.
Can I quickly rule Victor would keep Josie updated? I don't want to interrupt all the fucking time. I'm just saying, whatever happens with the tapping thing, he keeps her updated.
Got it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can Josie hear it now? Sorry, can I try to be listening out for it?
So, I need to make sure because a lot has been said in
that's
the
fine.
past 5 minutes. Has someone actively communicated out loud so that Corwin also knows what's going on?
I was about to.
Thanks, Mirah.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
go
for
ahead.
it.
Yes.
Go
No,
for it.
but okay. What we got? Can I do like a rundown of what's going on?
Do it.
Okay, so
Yes.
Josie opens the compartment door, looks out, communicates with Victor. Before that, Victor heard the tapping. Well, Victor communicates to Josie about the tapping. In the same time, Josie is looking out at the compartment. They communicated of that. Una is clued in. Corwin is like, oh, and they were roommates, kind of thing. And Una is like,
Yes, that is
Perfect, yes.
exactly what Corwin is.
and Una is paying attention, but in a very quick succession, kind of like looking out the window. And I would say that segment would have probably happened in less than 30-ish seconds.
Yeah.
Like, would have been very quick. So the very last thing would have been tapping stops, Una sees the thing, communication happens there, and this is when Una,
Got it.
passing the book back to Victor, goes like, I think we might be in trouble. and then just like, Yeah, I think there's something on a train. Unless the
Yeah.
trains are supposed to be built with a dent in the roof.
As Una is communicating this, Josie, now knowing that it's not just something between Viktor and I, now knowing that other people are on the same page that it is.
Sorry, Corwin.
She's standing up. She's grabbing her Morning Star and shield from the rack above and stuff, and just kind of not like getting in fighting stance, but just like having her shit in reach and ready to roll.
Yeah, Corwin will also immediately, if she sees y'all doing that, she's looking to you all for guidance as the very newbie. So she will immediately grab her halberd and kind of just
I don't know
ready.
what we're doing, but I'm here.
I'm trying so hard not to babyfy her.
I move away from the window.
Viktor is going to throw his cloak because, brother, that thing will be in the way. He also has a great sword strapped to his back that only now becomes visible because we never forgot anything on the first session. No?
Never ever. We were so perfect. Does Vic draw his
The
great
train
sword?
stops.
'Cause-
The train stops.
yeah.
Continue
Sorry,
your question.
Oh no, I was going to ask if Vic draws his greatsword, since I think that's a full action move.
That is a good question. No, he will draw his rapier. Just to remind everyone, this rapier is made from a metal that absorbs light completely. It's going to be the darkest thing in this entire room because he's so emo.
The Vanta Black.
Yeah, the Vanta Black. Yeah.
The Vanta Black, yeah. Okay.
How does
train
the window
stops.
open?
Like,
Is it like
Or does it?
just a little?
the window, there's like a small handle, like in the
Okay.
middle of it. There's a small handle above it.
I was just about to say when Una was like given the book back, she would have already been on her feet, like just implementing.
Yeah.
I am also ready.
Got it. So the train comes to a halt, slowly. Like, we're looking. You kind of just went into your carriages just went into a tunnel.
Of course.
Amazing.
So the
Of course it
train
does.
is partly in the tunnel.
Oh, fuck.
And then the lights start to flicker. And then all the lights go off.
Yep, now I'm being bullied.
Your carriage is now completely covered in darkness.
Oh.
Can I have a perception check from everyone? Who does not have dark vision?
The only human in the fucking party.
Can I have a perception check from everyone? I will put Una's for hearing.
Fair.
That's cute.
I will do this first, but after the perception check, I assume that I would figure out that the human doesn't have dark vision. Josie's gonna turn to Una and cast dark vision.
Hey,
Got it.
Good job.
Oh, okay. Like Una, like, oh, that's new. Wow, thanks. Also, I presume that's not our station, right? I'm not familiar with the route, but
Yeah, I don't. No, I don't think we're there yet. Corwin gets a 15 on her perception check.
Josie gets a 9, but I assume that's because I was focused on helping Una.
The dice tell a story. Viktor, the warlock of the party, does have Devil's Sight, which means I can see in the darkness as if it was like dim light for 120 feet. I got a natural 20 on my perception.
Excellent.
Let's go.
Yeah, I've got 80 feet dark vision, I believe.
question with because the perception. Let's rule it this way: the perception's for the hearing before the dark vision happened. So, but I would just wanted to ask you: was it with disadvantage or was it just normal?
Just normal.
Okay. That's a 12. That's a 12.
Okay. So let's start with the natural 20, since that is currently important for the fact that the tapping starts again. So it makes sense that Viktor
Oh, fuck me.
hears that. And the tapping starts to be... I need to know where you are sitting. Are you sitting in the window or are you sitting to the other side? Just so I
Viktor
know.
is standing because I feel like it's very hard to draw your rapier when you're sitting. So he's standing opposite side to Una, next to the window, and I think Corwin was next to
Got
me,
it.
and Josie was at the door with Una on the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. So you hear on the, like, now currently above
Yeah.
you, this tap, 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 and it seems to be on the side of the ceiling. It seems to not be in your compartment. It seems to not be in your carriage. It seems to be up.
Okay, like, sorry, just for Joe, is it, well, because you said on the side, does it sound like someone's climbing down the roof? Like, down from the roof?
No, it sounds like it's on, the edge of the side
Yes.
and the roof?
Mhm.
It seems to be like taps there.
Right.
As you will look outside, currently shadows aren't working, however you have Devil's Sight.
I believe...
You can see...
No, actually, you would not see shadows, would you? Right?
Good. So,
Nothing.
you see in the sides, you can see... I did not ask you how you cast Dark Vision. Let's start there. How did you cast Dark Vision?
My eyeballs.
I mean, it's simple, it's subtle. Most of Josie's spellcasting is going to be extremely utilitarian in this way. She's just going to reach over to Una, touch whatever, like, just like, it'll be direct touch on the skin, probably just on the wrist or something like that. And she's just going to whisper something in a language that you have never heard of whatsoever. Just this sounds like almost total nonsense to all of you.
Interesting. So, Dark Vision, your duration is 8 hours, and yeah, so a willing creature you touch is Dark Vision with a range of 150 feet for 8 hours. So, as for Viktor again, you can see those dents happening.
Wait, how am I seeing the dents? Is it like from the inside? I see that the roof is getting...
Ceilings caving in.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Oh, fun.
It's
How loud?
it's not deep dents. It's like very small. You can't see what is doing it, however. For everyone that isn't below 10, you can see a same looking humanoid shape. Now, Corwin can see it now too. Go from the front, walks to the back. Walks to the back. And definitely seems to be having a kind of briefcase-looking thing on the side of it. That is currently what you see in your 10-feet compartment.
Scribble notes.
Sorry, yeah, I'm taking notes. Viktor is... I don't think he's going to drop message because it's a cantrip anyway. It's just up, so whenever you need it, Josie.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to quietly... and I'm happy to roll for that. Shuffle more to the middle of the compartment so that he doesn't have to yell at everyone. I mean, it was only 10 feet, but regardless. And go, psst, there's something denting the roof. So I think we may want to leave this compartment and check it out. There is no use to getting huddled up in here.
I second that.
Not that I'm necessarily thinking about going this way, but I know some things about the train tunnels in England.
Wonderful.
If we were to attempt the window, I assume that we would likely not have enough room to even exit through the window between the train and the wall. Yes,
currently
extraordinarily
not in this carriage.
Okay, so we have one way out.
With that, you also, at least Annie will notice, you can decide if Josie would notice too, I don't think you'd even have space to actively be on top of
that was what I was thinking too.
On top of the tunnels
the tunnel.
either. So the fact that it's denting is already weird.
Can we hear any other passengers? Like, obviously, because we can't be the only people that are like, ooh.
Yeah, I said there would be like some commotion, you figure.
Yeah. Like,
there is the intercom, like a sort of thaumaturgy worked
works.
into the system, saying, I'm sorry, we are currently having issues with the train and the light system. We will be back with you guys shortly. Our trip will continue shortly. And it immediately stops again.
Oh, wait.
Like, disrupts.
I would cart just go into the tunnel. Let's walk to the back of the train.
I agree.
Right. Also, for Josie's benefit, since I think, just based on the perception checks, Corwin will add, there's someone in the hallway too, a dark suit briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
Same one I saw before. Went back the other way, I guess. I think that they've got the right idea. They're headed toward the cars that are still outside. Let's follow.
All right, let's go.
So Josie will lead the way out.
Yeah, Corwin will follow.
Pulls up the scarf.
And Josie is not being stealthy in this case, by the way. Just opening the door and starting to move.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say I think we're taking the newbies in the middle. I don't know which order you want, but if Josie heads out first, which makes absolute sense, because Viktor can cast at range, he's going to be the last one leaving the compartment.
I think that is fair. I think Corwin will kind of scuffle with you a little bit for that last spot, just because she feels like I'm kind of, like I'm the biggest, I got a big halberd, I'd like to protect you guys. But
and tread and cover on either side kind of thing.
Yeah, but she would defer to you if you kind of pushed the matter, so it could be kind of a silent scuffle, and if you stayed firm, then she would defer.
I follow like a duckling.
I need to make this clear for Viktor. The person with the briefcase going to the back. The tapping is going to the front.
Oh.
Yeah. Even more reason to go to the back.
I say either way, I mean, we can't even see anything with the tap. Sorry, actually, Josie could do this in person. In a character. I think we follow that person towards the light, even if the taps are going in the other direction. We can't see anything. We can't get outside of the train while we're in the tunnel. We gotta go that way first.
Yeah, but the conductor, the person running the train is in the front. If there's something on the roof of this train, then what if they mean to harm the conductor?
Not space for it to be on the roof of the train. Whatever it is magic, and we need more information.
Ooh, Corwin is going to use she's going to burn a divine sense to see if this is a celestial fiend or undead.
Excellent.
Yes.
Can you explain to me what divine sense does?
Yes, of course. As a bonus action, Corwin can open her awareness to detect celestials, fiends, and undead for the next 10 minutes. I will know the location of any creature of those types within 60 feet of myself, and I'll know its creature type. I will also detect the presence of anything that has been consecrated or desecrated.
Ooh.
Sick. Oh, that's useful.
It works through walls, right?
As far as I'm aware, I
it's
don't see any...
Just within that range, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see anything saying that it's like sight-based. I think it's just anything in range.
No, I think you just feel it, paladins, man.
Yeah, we're just vibing.
Corwin.
Oh, dear God.
You can detect a version of undead towards the front. You can detect a version of a fiend towards the right. However, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Of course I can.
Oh, shit.
All right, one moment, my friends. That is a 9 on the Constitution saving throw.
Ooh. So, you guys you're going... If we look at the line that you guys are walking, Corwin is number 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you, as the third person, open the door, everyone's going more towards the back. You cast a single look towards the front, and you see the same thing that keeps haunting you every single night, over and over and over again. And it's just this... While your look is in black and white, there is this colorful, like you can see the color of it. You shouldn't be able to see the color. There's this like red and white kind of standing on their tippy toes. These bells hanging from the hats, and it's just for a moment yet you see this mask. 4 mask flying around, and it has the biggest smile on it, and you can just hear, "You're not supposed to haunt us yet," before it's gone.
Oh.
Next to that, yeah, so you can see a version of a fiend and a version of an undead to either side. You can't really determine what it is. It's different than what it normally would be. This is different.
There's something wrong, guys. There's a
What?
You think?
There's something undead toward the front of the train, and there's something that feels fiendish toward the back. It's wrong though. It's not the way that it should feel.
What?
Well, for starters, undead. What are you talking about? We need to keep moving.
All right, but
Sorry, because I just want to very quickly note, one of the first notes I took in the last session is that specifically there is no revival magic of any kind surviving, including raised dead. There is literally no magical undead of any kind in
There
setting.
is no magic of that currently active. However, like things like creating zombie skeletons would be possible.
Okay.
However, actively bringing someone back to full life is not still possible.
Okay.
Undead can still be a thing. However, this is not
Okay.
that type of undead.
Then Josie will retract the previous statement, but I will say, I just want to clarify then, because what I put in the notes, the specific wording I used in my notes was necromancy was centered in the Netherlands. No revive magic of any kind survives. That includes raised dead, which is what I thought made zombies. We
could do the thing of it is difficult to do so.
Yeah,
it is currently, as far as we know, impossible to bring someone back to be sentient.
Yes.
Zombies, I would feel like, do not have anything left from the person they may have been before.
Sure.
However, Una would not know any of this.
I guess.
You know that necromancy was a plan. Like, there were starters to it. That's it.
What's up with Una?
I don't know.
So,
I'm so sorry. I wanted to do that for the past couple of minutes now. If it's clear there's something going to the front, Viktor would try to argue for helping the other passengers. Same as Corwin was trying to do, because I mean, the briefcase kind of person, it feels less threatening to Viktor than a thing that we can't see is currently denting the roof, is currently making its way to the front.
To clarify, Josie's perspective on it wasn't that we're following the fiend guy or the guy with the briefcase because we need to follow him. It's we need to head toward daylight. The people on this train are not our assignment, and Josie is being pretty cold and calculating right now. We can help to try and figure out what's going on if we can get outside of the train and see. But if we head toward the front, we're heading blindly into clearly a dangerous situation to save people who we're not responsible for and not being paid to protect.
When I would also say that, you need to make sure that you look after your own goal first, and then you can have a luxury of worrying about someone else.
We might.
Oh, good.
Victor, we might be able to help them better if we can get out and see what's happening. We can't exit the train in here. We have to get to where there's daylight.
We're in a tunnel. We won't be able to see anything from outside anyway. We need, if there's any way that we can help the people who are further ahead. They're trapped up there with an undead. Those aren't even supposed to exist.
Well, Una was about to argue additionally that we just go into this tunnel. If we go back, we have more of a chance to see what's going on. Besides, you don't know if the person that is going the same way is not causing all of this. Why would they be leaving the opposite direction? Besides, there might be people on that way if you really want to save someone.
Josie is going to look back at Viktor and go, "What happened to the exit door? This is not our job."
Fine. He's going to follow.
Fine. Corwin will also follow.
Got it. So you guys will go to the back. So once you walk through, can I have a perception check from Josie?
You got this, Josie? You got this, Josie?
17. It's not too bad.
17 is not too bad. The person with the briefcase seems to, once it goes into the compartment, into the new carriage, the doors faintly close, or faintly, for a moment, close. And you have the tinted glass again. And then you can literally see the shadow of it vanish. And when the door opens again, person's gone. Passengers there seem to just be like, "Oh, we're gonna have a delay again," and it's like, are we serious? Why is this every time gonna happen? And it's it's just people complaining to each other. They seem to not be harmed in any way. So yeah, there seems to be nothing there. You're looking at like kind of like a bunch of young-looking. There seems to be kind of a young-looking group of people, mostly elves, humans, and there are a couple tieflings. There seems to be this one orange tabaxi with a with this kind of Grim Reaper looking mask, sitting in one of the seats as well. But next to that, no one really seems to be. They're only complaining. They don't seem to be in danger.
Right. Una would have been looking straight away because there are doors to get on the train. Up to you if you want to make them on the bends of the train where they're connecting to other compartments. So Una would have been looking for that. If there is a door to use, especially now that we would have been out of the tunnel, so to speak. And also if there is a way of separating the compartments of the train.
That is a really great question. I love it. I also just wanted to add, does anything change with Corwin's divine sense when Mr. Briefcase goes away?
The fiend's things goes away. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's still there. And there is now, something changed. There is still a fiend there. However, for a moment, the sense kind of splits towards a different place. And once you're looking at it, it seems before I say anything, can you tell with your divine sense, if you're looking at a room of people, hypothetically, can you tell from which of those people it would be from? I need to know.
Oh yeah, right.
Annie, what do you think? I want to say yes, but I'm not sure.
I believe so because
yes.
It in the text of it says it gives like an exact location, not a general direction.
You can pinpoint it.
Yeah.
So I mean, she would probably have to like look at them and go, it's like, okay, it's in that spot, and there's a person in that spot, so that's the one. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's kind of following the smell.
Thank you.
So, a little more precise than that, yeah.
They smell vaguely like brimstone. Sorry.
Once you go into that carriage, you see the passengers. It is now actively coming from the orange tabaxi with the Reaper's Grim Reaper's mask. Can I have, just in general, can I have a quick roll for? Just give me a plain intelligence roll.
Everyone?
Just Corwin.
Oh.
The clever one.
Cool.
The smart one.
No, we love her.
She got an 18.
Oh.
Ooh. Baby girl she's relatively smart. She's just not very
the rebounds
wise.
arc.
A lot of exactly. A lot of warriors of mercy from like the monk groups wear a lot of masks as a cover for their whole identity. Their whole thing is that. So this could be one of those masks. However, it is strange that is also a fiend.
Okay.
Or at least a version of that fiend. And Josie would recognize it also from, you will have seen it on Brian's person at some points.
Sorry, what was it?
The mask.
The Grim Reaper mask.
The mask.
You would have seen it like with Brian at some point, like next to him or something.
Would I have known what it was or signified from Brian?
I will say you know it as a Warrior of Mercy mask.
Okay.
Corwin will probably, who's she next to? She's next to Vic and Una. So she will because Josie's at the very front. She will probably kind of fall back next to Vic as much as possible and say very, very, very quietly, Orange Tabaxi in the mask is a fiend.
Can I describe the mask for you?
Yeah.
So, the eyes of it seem to, like, be big circles. However, there's nothing behind it. You are unable to see any eyes, any light even, or any kind of skin or anything. And the mask kind of in, like, this beak goes forward for a moment. Just a little bit. And it seems to be... Can I have another very small perception check? From everyone.
Sorry, what check was that?
Perception.
Perception.
17.
Oh, 2.
A natural 20.
Natural 20.
So this is a 5, which brings me up to a whopping 5 perception.
Yay!
Wonderful.
We're so wise.
Everyone above a 15, so we're looking at Josie and Corwin, I think.
Corwin had a 2.
I had a 20.
Corwin had a 2. Una, sorry, yes. Josie will have seen that this mask doesn't, like, wrap around the entire head. Una can see that the sides of the mask seem to be branded, like, almost, like, dug into the
like
sides of the head.
Oh. Like fixed to the skin kind of thing.
Yeah. It seems to be kind of stuck to the skin. However, fur, skin, kind of that part of it. And when you say that, Corwin, the same, I will now call them creature, looks at you. Can I have another Constitution saving throw?
Of course.
And while that roll goes, can I quickly clarify one thing about the mask? Because you were saying Grim Reaper mask. Are you referring to like a plague
Kind of,
doctor? Like a... Because you said beak.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify.
Got it. Yeah. Sorry.
Are there
so-
any markings on that mask? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
You're rolling for ouchies, so you roll for ouchies.
I will take Corwin's first. I
Okay.
will first take the Constitution save.
Clarifying question. So the creature is the one with you were saying kind of like the faces that are floating all around.
No, the orange tabaxi.
Oh,
I'm
no,
now
okay.
talking about.
The orange tabaxi.
The other guy's gone.
The all the floating mask is gone.
Okay, great.
No, it's just a sight and it's gone.
Corwin is trying very hard not to think about that and to focus on the thing at hand. Unfortunately, she rolled a natural 1 on her Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
All right, we're ending the episode with a dice roll.
Yeah!
Damn.
Oh, baby! Dice time.
Say goodbye to your favorite character. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro, that's so many dice.
That's a lot of ouchies.
Ro just rolled a handful of dice.
Joe is getting ready to catch her.
There is this feeling deep beneath your skull. And it is almost, at the start, is like, I'm gonna put a warning here.
Oh, shit.
Already for what I'm about to describe. It is like someone is reaching actively throughout the holes in your skull to the back of it. You take 11 psychic damage.
Oh my gosh.
And you can just hear, "Haunting us, I see. I'm sure Levi will like that." And that's where we're going to end the
you
episode.
Oh my
That's a lot of
gosh.
ouchies.
I like that. Dear listeners, Anusia is the producer for this episode, as you will hear in the credits. Anusia just in the chat being like, delightful. And I do hear
Delightful.
it as Gwen.
Oh my gosh.
So, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you back with the Bounty Hunters next week. And what happens next remains to be seen. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Remains to be Seen is an original podcast created by Dyaflame Studios and licensed under the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 4.0 International License. Today's episode was produced by Anusia Battersby and edited by Rover, Elliott, and Joe Mendacium. It starred Elizabeth Simpson as Corwin Duvall, Joe Mendacium as Viktor Valthayne, Annie Ruby as Josie, Mirah Fae as Una, and Rover Elliott as the Dungeon Master. The intro and outro were composed by We Talk of Dreams, and a transcript was written by Elizabeth Simpson. To get in touch with us and keep up to date with our antics, follow us on Instagram, Bluesky, and TikTok at Dyaflame Studios, or view our website at dyaflame.com. Check out our show notes for additional credits, links, and transcripts.